Welcome to the GirlyPop TV podcast. I am Koolkayak,
I am Blindfoldhero.
and this is officially our first ever episode.
Woo! So exciting. So, do you want to talk a bit about who we are, why people cared to listen to us, why our words have any meaning or
Yee!
importance at all? Why do people want to, hear us yap?
Okay,
So,
you
who
want to
are
go
we?
first?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Blindfold Hero. I'm a content creator. I mainly post a lot of K-pop and Twice content on social media. Twice, if you don't know, is my favorite K-pop group ever. I love them very much. I got into them in 2019. I'll talk more about them in our next episode. Actually, so I don't want to go in too much detail for this episode. Um, but I do post a lot of K-pop content on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I before I posted Cape, I'm just gonna go into a quick little spiel about my about where I started actually. But I used to stream a lot on Twitch before I started posting all the K-pop content on socials, and I used to stream a lot of like indie games. So if you were, a blindfold bud during that Twitch era I had, then you're one of the real OGs. But that's kind of where I started. Yeah, that was Kayak. She was one of the OGs. And yeah, so I'm a content creator. I love making content. I love filming content, editing content. And I am looking forward to being a co host on this podcast with the one and only amazing Cool Kayak.
Very nice introduction. um, so I am Cool Kayak. You can call me Kayak, Kayla. You call me Cool if you'd like. I don't mind. And I am also a content creator. I have been streaming on Twitch for the last 3 years, and I started also with primarily indie games, platform games, RPG games. And then I kind of went on a hiatus. I tried different content, but I've always remained on Cool Kayak on other platforms such as TikTok and Instagram. I post on TikTok I vlog pretty much about my unemployed life right now and like my journey with that. And then I also do like more a YouTube channel that's like it's called Gratefully Kayla, and it's basically more of the vulnerable side of like the things that are going on in my life and like life lessons that I am currently dealing with and all that stuff. So I also really enjoy video editing, making content, and just expressing myself on in the world of the internet. And it's really fun. And I'm also very excited to work alongside with Blindfold Hero. If you guys didn't know, we actually have collabed plenty of times before. The
Yes.
OGs will know this. And basically, we have talked about doing a podcast for a long time. Like, we had an OG list of things we wanted to talk about maybe for a podcast. And that was like way before even the Scuff Streamer Awards, right? I
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and yeah, so we have gone way back, and so now we're actually creating it into fruition, and it's this is really exciting.
I know. I'm so excited. So do you want to talk a bit? So I know you just mentioned our previous collab. So do you want to talk a bit about that, or do you want to talk a bit about the podcast in general first?
We can talk about our collabs.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, we have done plenty of collabs. I think the first collab we did was a Halloween stream. That was our first
Yeah.
ever,
Okay, I
right?
remember that. It was with our streamer friend Monty Pente. And
Yes.
that was actually the first time we've ever collabed. It was October 31st, 2022.
Wow.
I remember the exact day, but
Yeah.
I only remember the exact day because it was Halloween.
That's so cute.
Um, and we did an Among Us stream, right?
Yeah. You
Yeah, we did
wait,
Among Us, and then we cosplay
yeah,
too.
what did you dress up as? Was it an
I
anime
was I
character?
was yeah I was Denji, from Chainsaw Man. So it's an anime.
That's
So
right.
the main character from Chainsaw Man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot what Monty was.
You were that SpongeBob character.
Yes, I was the Goofy
Yes.
Goober rock wizard outfit from the movie. Yes.
Mm.
Have you seen the movie yet?
The SpongeBob movie?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any episode of SpongeBob ever.
Girl, we're gonna have to change that. At least the movie. At least the movie though.
Okay. Wait, you're saying I should watch the movie and not the actual TV show?
I think you should watch both, but one's more of a
Okay.
time commitment.
Okay. I'll think about it.
Okay.
But yeah, that was our
Yeah.
first ever collab, and then what was our next collab? I feel like we did like some random stream collabs now and then,
Yeah, I
right?
feel like we probably did
Yeah.
like mini collaborations. I know we play that one game? No, that was on our Halloween stream. I don't know. I feel like
I
we've
don't.
had collabs where you've joined in or I have randomly joined in.
Yeah.
Um, and then
I don't remember.
yeah, it's
Like,
kind of a blur.
I feel like because the next big collab was the Scuff Streamer Awards, right?
Yeah,
After,
that was our biggest collab
yeah, and
until
then
now.
that was the Scuff Streamer Awards, and then but we've had like random collabs throughout, our years of knowing each other, like just like one-off games. And then we had a
Yes.
huge collab, which is the Scuff Streamer Awards. So if you guys weren't around for that time, if you don't know, the Scuff Streamer Awards was an event that Kaik and I put on, kind of like a parody of the Streamer Awards event hosted by Cutie Cinderella, and it was basically an event made to celebrate, smaller streamers that aren't like Twitch partnered. And we just had a bunch of people fill out a form of nominations to vote on different categories. For example, best FPS streamer, best just chatting streamer, and there were like some funny ones too. Like I don't remember the funny ones, but I remember there were some funny ones. And there was like best like funniest streamer and best streamer overall. But there were just like categories like that, similar to the Scuff Streamer Awards, and we just had this whole event. It was like 5 hours long. There were like 100 viewers, which is pretty big for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like interviews. People had speeches. We even had an award. No, we even had a
A
award
talent
show,
show.
right at the very end. Oh, talent show. That's
We
what I
had
was
a talent
thinking.
show,
We even
yeah.
had a talent show in the
Excuse me.
middle where we had 4, I believe, performers actually, perform their talent through Discord on stream,
Yes.
and we had a trophy given to the person who won the talent show as well. So
Yeah.
this huge event that Kaig and I put on in March 2023, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it was like
2023.
March
Yeah.
13th, 2023. I
Oh,
don't know.
you remember the exact date?
I think so. I don't that's roughly like middle
Yeah.
of March.
Yeah. So that was like the biggest collab we've ever done, and we were like, see you for the Scuff Streamer Awards 2024, but then we both went on hiatus, so it never happened.
Yeah, we ended up I think
Yeah.
shortly after I streamed a little here and there, but pretty shortly in that
Yeah.
year I was like, yeah, I'm going to take a break.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
I think we
I
all
did as well.
I
Go
just
ahead.
remembered another collab we had. Then we had a collab where it was a surprise stream.
Yeah, where you actually showed up in person.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that one
That
was
was
really
wild.
cool. Yeah, I actually
Yeah, so that collab was actually we framed it as an ugly popcorn reveal. And then you actually you flew into where we lived at the time, and we pretended that you were ugly popcorn.
Yeah.
And we had so many people on that stream. Like I still see clips of it sometimes, and
Mhm.
we have so many people on that stream, and we're like, everyone was just like, what the heck? Like that kayak. Wait,
Yeah.
kayak was actually popcorn the whole time.
People were really like,
Yeah.
wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, it was wild. And for those that don't know, Ugly Popcorn is my partner. I think she was here earlier. Um, but obviously her name isn't actually Popcorn, but I won't disclose her real name publicly. So we just call her Popcorn for now, and she's also really close with Kayak as well.
Yeah.
And she actually helped out a lot in the Scuff Streamer Awards as well. She
Yeah,
was like the person behind the scenes of everything.
definitely was like the helpful administrator, and it was the Ugly Popcorn
Administrator.
found the Ugly Popcorn Foundation helped out a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
behind the
There's a
scenes.
joke. Yeah, everyone in chat was joking that she has a organization called the Ugly Popcorn Foundation. Everyone was like, "Please donate to Ugly Popcorn because she did all this work with no pay."
Yeah, which actually, yeah.
Yeah, which is true. But yeah, that was fun. So I think those are our like biggest collabs together, right?
Yeah, and now we have the GirlyPop TV podcast that we'll be
Yeah,
starting to do every other Saturday.
which is exciting because like the previous collabs were kind of like one-off collabs, but this one is actually like a continuous one that we're gonna do like every other week, right? So I'm
Yes,
excited for that.
me too. I can't wait to see how it ends up growing, like us as creators, but
Mm-hmm.
also just as a community.
Yeah, and I want to improve like every episode, so I'm excited to see, you know, like I'm excited to look back on this episode when we're on like episode 50,
I
and I'm
know,
excited to
right?
look back and see like what's changed.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So do you want to like talk a bit about the podcast now since we're kind of like talking about that already?
Let's do it. Yeah. Um, yeah.
So how did we get started? Who first came up with the idea? I think it was like both of us, right? Like I think we both really wanted to do a podcast together.
Yeah. I feel like you and I were probably just like shooting ideas and that came about.
Yeah.
And then like we started to did we make like a list of ideas at one point?
I think we did, but we just never like took action.
Yeah, nothing
Yeah,
happened after that.
we've been talking about it for years, and we're like, oh, it would be so fun if we made a podcast together. Oh, what if we did a podcast together? Oh my gosh, let's do a podcast together.
I
But
know.
we just never
And
like
then
took
never
action to actually do it. Yeah, we just
Yeah.
never do it. We just never did it. Yeah, we mentioned a podcast like over 2 years ago. That is wild. But 2025 is the year of taking initiative, taking action, and actually doing the things that we want to do. We're gonna be
Exactly.
action and not just talk. So, new
Period.
year, new us. The podcast is here. Welcome in, everyone.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know like the extent of what we wanted to do when we first talked
Yeah.
about it. All we knew is like we wanted to just like yap together. We thought we were both like good for just yapping together and collaborating. We just didn't know what it was going to be called. So, as of the last like month or so, we have been in the
Yeah.
works of creating what Girly Pop TV is all about. If you want to go into like what this podcast is
Yeah.
about and
So, we kind of want this podcast to be, both fun because I feel like both of our normal content, both of our like typical streams are very fun and chaotic, and just like silly, right? So I wanted to have a platform where we can share deeper and more vulnerable topics of, conversation. Some topics might include like religion or sexuality or mental health, or procrastination or just life in general or like our interests, feminism, like current news, a lot of topics, like deeper topics that we don't usually get to discuss on a typical like fun stream. Like I wanted to have a safe space where we can openly discuss these kind of things that may be more taboo in such like a fun, I keep using the word fun. I don't know what is another word for fun.
like a more
um,
lighthearted, maybe
yeah,
lighthearted.
lighthearted environment. Because like Twitch, like everyone like plays games on Twitch. Everyone like it's like a funny, comedic, lighthearted place to be. But I just wanted to create a space where we can have some of these more vulnerable talks. And I think a podcast is the perfect place for that.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. And I think the reason why I think having a podcast, especially with two female streamers for one, and well,
Mm-hmm.
two Asian POC female creators. I think our voice deserves to be heard on this platform too. And this is a
Yeah, I agree.
primarily male dominated platform,
Mm-hmm.
and our perspectives should be out there too. And I think it's really important for us to also, be
Yeah,
able to talk
absolutely.
about our own experiences, even being as a creator, or as a woman, or as a person of color. Um, and so that's why I also thought that this was an amazing idea, because we would be able to share those type of things um,
Mm-hmm.
for whoever needs to hear something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're looking for lighthearted content, catch us in our typical streams. I mean, I think the stream was like I think this podcast will still be like lighthearted. Like we'll still keep it fun. We'll still keep it
Oh, for
uh
sure.
silly, but we're just gonna be talking about deeper topics.
Yes.
But talking about streams, we do both streams, so make sure to catch us at twitch.tv/blindfoldhero and twitch.tv/koolkayak. I don't know when your stream schedule is, but I'm assuming once a week, so catch us there.
Yes, once a week, typically on Saturdays or Fridays.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So and we actually came up with like this orange concept. So if you haven't noticed, we're both wearing orange today. My shirt actually says orange juice, and it's a tiger with oranges on it,
That's so cute. That's
or oranges
adorable.
on its head. Yeah, and I
Aww.
like it because I'm actually the year of the tiger in the Chinese zodiac.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so that's why I bought this shirt because I love tigers. They feel very special to me since I'm the ear of the tiger, and it actually
Yeah.
says orange juice. So our
Aww.
colors are orange and green, as you can see from our
Yes.
color scheme. Yeah, so Kayak is wearing
I got the green
green with a little
vest
orange hat. I
and
know,
my
so cute,
fluffy
so cute,
furry furry
so
hat.
cute.
Yes. I think when we were talking about like the concepts of the our design, like I thought
Mm-hmm.
of green and orange because I know that a lot of Blindfold's brand has a lot of yellow. I just when I think of Blindfold, I think of sunflowers, and I was just like, "Oh, yellow."
Ah.
And then like one of my favorite colors is red, so that together is orange. But then I was also my other favorite color is blue, so then blue and yellow makes green. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, wait." And then Blindfold thought about oranges being just like a part of the brand, and we were just like, "You know what? Yeah, that's so cute. I love that." I think it matches well with the whole like girly pop, vibe.
Like a pop of citrus.
Yes. Sour but
You know,
sweet.
it's actually funny. Okay, so I think this podcast we're gonna go off tangent a lot.
Oh, for
Whenever I
sure.
think of something, if I don't say it, I'm gonna forget. But I think it's funny, because like literally everyone on social media calls me hero, but the only people who call me blindfold are people like close to me. So
Oh,
it's like if
interesting.
if you call me blindfold, then you're officially like a closer online friend of mine. Versus if you call me hero, then you probably only know me surface level from social media. Because
Whoa.
that's kind of like how I frame it as, because literally like on Instagram, like I call myself hero. Like my name on Instagram is literally hero. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what
huh?
my name on TikTok is hero too. And my name
Yeah.
on YouTube is also hero. So people who meet me through there, like they call me hero. Like people who are newer to my community, when they come into my Discord, they all call me hero. But the only people who call me blindfold are kind of like the OGs.
Whoa,
So
I didn't know
if
that.
you call me blindfold, then you're officially an OG.
Whoa. You know what? I just realized we didn't really like talk about like our streaming names and like, where like
Like
that
our
part.
community names.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be so. It's like so okay. So I'm gonna talk about a K-pop reference. So in K-pop, there's like a fandom name for every K-pop group.
Yeah.
So for Twice, the name is called Once.
Mhm.
So all fans of Twice are called Once. So for our podcast, it could be like the citruses.
The citruses.
I don't know. I don't know. I want something like cute. Something like
Citrus.
the oranges,
Orange,
the clementines.
poppers,
I don't know. We,
uh,
we can think about it though. We can think about it.
the
But
girlies.
it would be
The
cute to have a
girlies.
fandom name.
That it would be, yeah. The nectarines.
That's too. I want something cute. I don't know. Nectarines feels so long.
No,
The
yes.
clementines feel really long too.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't
Something
know. We
like
can think about it. The pops, pop,
poppies, cuties.
poppies. That's kind of cute.
That
Oh,
is.
cuties are cute. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the oranges. That is
Yeah.
cute. I like cuties. Wait, I
I
actually
do
really like
too.
cuties.
I do
Wait, should
too.
we start each podcast episode with like, "Hey,
Hi,
cuties"?
cuties. Oh my gosh, yeah. Wait, let's do
Wait,
it.
I like that. Okay, let's restart the podcast.
Let's
Hey,
just edit
cuties.
this in right now. Hi,
Yeah.
cuties.
Hi, cuties. Welcome. Oh my gosh, we should have like an opening spiel. Like the podcast will start and we'll be like, "Hi, cuties. Welcome to GirlyPop TV."
Oh, wait, yeah, that's cute. I think we should, yeah.
Oh man, that'd be so cute. Okay, I love that. Let's do it. Let's do
Okay,
it.
it's marked for this episode, first episode.
Okay, so you guys are officially the cuties now. Everyone watching this now or in the future, you're officially the
The
cuties.
cuties.
Welcome in. Wow, we decided that so fast.
I know, that one was immediately clicked.
Okay, so that's kind of it about our podcast. I want to keep working on like the YouTube channel and the
Mhm.
Instagram, and we're planning to have a Spotify out soon. We currently only
Yes.
have a YouTube and Instagram channel, which if you're not already subscribed slash followed, make sure to go ahead and do that. It should just be Girly Pop TV podcast on both YouTube and Instagram. We currently don't have a Spotify yet, but we will have one soon. But I want to keep working
Yes.
on that and updating the graphics for that. And I want to do an opening animation for the podcast as well. I know you're currently working on the ending animation, so
Yes.
I'm excited to have those graphics in. So the
Same.
podcast is going to be something that is going to continuously improve and grow and evolve as time goes on. So, like I said earlier, I'm really excited to look back on this first episode of the podcast. Like, you know, 50 episodes later to
Me
see
too.
what's different. I'm gonna be like in a few months from now, like 50 episodes later, I'm gonna look back on this first episode. I'm gonna be like, wow, this sucks.
Like we were total noobs. I wanted to be
Yeah,
on that level.
we spent an hour, like 2 hours, going through stream scuffiness
No, actually.
issues.
But like before we even streamed, we spent like 1 hour trying to figure out how to even navigate
Mhm.
stream together. And then we spent
Yeah.
another hour on stream live figuring this out together and with some of our viewers' help, of course. But it was like, you know, scuffy.
It was a total
But
mess. Yeah. So for people who are watching this after the live, if you don't know, this podcast is unique in the way that we're actually airing this podcast live and unedited on twitch.tv, both on my channel, twitch.tv/Blindfoldhero, and on Koolkayak's channel, twitch.tv/Koolkayak. So I feel like most podcasts these days, they usually like pre-record, like they usually record it in like a studio or a set, and then they like edit it and upload it to YouTube and whatnot. But what makes our podcast different is that we're actually recording it live on Twitch. We're actually live streaming it. So as I'm talking right now, there are people in the chat. There are no, not people, cuties. There are cuties in the chat right now watching us live and unedited as we film this podcast. So that's kind of the unique trait of the Girly Pop TV podcast. The thing that sets us apart from other podcasts is that we are live because we're
live.
live streamers.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, should we go into I see we've written quick life stories. I don't know what that reference is.
Oh, just do you want to like cover like quickly like your life story?
Oh, okay. Okay. So, a little bit about me. I have been streaming since pretty much since 2020. I tried a few times. in light of the pandemic and me just kind of like, you know what? I've always wanted to try content creating and, I play games. I mean, that literally at the time of the pandemic, that's all I was doing was playing video games. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just like start doing that. Um, but before that, I didn't even have the guts to do content creating. Like maybe a little here and there posting, but posting was like something that was very anxiety ridden for me. Even just starting to stream was a whole process for me to even be like, okay, you just have to click live. You just have to click live. And that took like
Really?
over a month
Wow.
for me. Yeah. That took a month for me to be like,
Really? I would have never imagined, like, knowing the streamer that you are today. I would never
thank
have
you.
thought that.
Well, streaming has been one of the things that has really aided my anxieties and like putting myself out there and expressing myself outwardly. And I feel like that alongside with my previous job, which was in acting, because I'm an actor outside of content creating, and because I was like always on camera and having to just basically improvise both on live stream and when I was at my job filming, it was just like I think both those things really raised the bar for my own anxieties about myself and my confidence. And so like that is why I am the streamer and the creator that I am today, and still ever growing, of course, because of like those life experiences and just clicking live, honestly. Like once I just pressed
Mhm.
live and just started and really put myself out there to meet other streamers and other creators like Blindfold. I mean, the way me and Blindfold met was through a
Oh yeah,
raid.
yeah,
I
we can talk about
raided,
that too.
yeah, I raided you on the off chance.
Wait,
Like,
was it you who rated me, or
yeah,
did I rate you?
I raided
You
you.
rated me?
Mm-hmm. Because
Okay.
I remember
We were
I
playing Earthbound.
yes, I was playing Earthbound and
Yeah.
so were you. I was looking for somebody who was also playing Earthbound because I wanted to make friends with someone. And then I
Yeah.
saw your stream. I saw your overlay and I was like, "Oh, that's cute. Let's raid this person." So then when we raided you, I thought literally it's so funny, but
Really?
yeah, when I raided you, I was like, "Why do I feel like we're gonna become friends?" Like I literally remember
No
thinking
way.
like, wait, your vibe is so cool. I think we're gonna become friends. And so yeah, so it's literally funny how I don't know if I just like manifested that or I just knew like, oh yeah, our vibes are similar. But yeah,
That's
so
so wild. Cause imagine if I never played Earthbound. We would have
I
never met. Or if you
know.
never played Earthbound. Like, how does that work? Like,
Yeah.
I would not have imagined this random raider would be like in my house like a year later
No,
or
for
2 years later.
real.
Like you flew across the country to come see me and Popcorn, which
Yeah.
is like wild thinking about when we first met from like literally a random raider.
Yeah.
That's
It
like that's literally the equivalent of becoming like best friends with like a random like college roommate.
no, literally. And it's so funny how much you can just get connected with people with this platform. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel like I've met so many people. I've gone through so many things just because of Twitch alone, but also, other
Yeah.
ways of methods of creating and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But yeah, if it weren't for even Hillagix telling me, "Hey, you should play Earthbound. It's a good game." Then I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll try it." And then that's when I was like, I want to meet creators who are also playing this game because I was really enjoying it. And yeah, if it
Mm-hmm.
weren't for just
Yeah.
that thought process alone and like everything led to today is like
Yeah. That's so
mind
wild.
blown. Um, but yeah, so like going back to my life story, basically, I've always been a shy girl. I've been pretty introverted. Even though I have done things like drama and acting since like high school days, um, most of the time I'm actually more of an introverted person, which like a lot of people are shocked about when they meet me through, especially the screen, because I come across
Mm-hmm.
as, very bubbly and outgoing, but like I'm alone in my room. Keep that in mind. Like, this is just me in my room having a good old silly time, yes. But
Yeah.
also, like, I do recognize that I want to get out of my comfort zone more when it comes to like speaking, expressing myself, meeting people,
Mm-hmm.
and just doing this podcast too, I know is going to grow me in that way too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
for sure.
much about me. We'll get into the nitty gritty. I think I'll leave it up to that, and then as the podcast goes along, you guys will know more about deeper stuff of me.
Okay, okay. I'm excited for your deepest, darkest secrets. I feel like that's kind of like a tagline you say on your streams for those who don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like on like either as your stream title or just like like literally like introducing the stream right at the beginning. You're like, okay, guys, let me tell me all your deepest, darkest secrets. Let me tell you
Yeah.
my deepest, darkest secrets, and then it'll be something like, I got ice cream tonight or something.
Yeah, super not even a dark secret.
But we'll reveal the actual like deepest, darkest secrets on this podcast. So
Oh
make sure
yeah.
you guys stay tuned.
Mhm.
Okay, so I guess I can kind of talk about me, like content wise. I've always wanted to get into streaming. I guess I love gaming. Two, I love attention. And streaming is all about getting attention. And I love content. I love content. Um but I wasn't able to stream because I never had the equipment to. But also fun quick advice for anyone who is a new streamer. Don't worry about the equipment. Like literally just stream with whatever you have. And just go for it. Like your equipment is gonna suck from the get-go anyway, so just do what you like, use what you have. Yeah, it's gonna suck, but use what you have, and then you can slowly upgrade as you stream more and more, but don't hold off streaming just because you feel like you don't have the right technology or equipment or knowledge. Like just go for it. Just go in, dive in. Like don't wait. I mean, it's helpful to read up and research and get some knowledge first, but don't get too stuck in trying to do research that you just prohibit yourself from doing anything, which is something I've had to learn, like not just in terms of streaming, like in life in general. Like don't do too much research, because I'm the type of person that tends to like study a lot and research a lot and just like go in this deep hole of uh trying to make everything perfect before I, actually do the thing that I want to do. So my advice to you guys who are kind of like stuck in the same situation is just like go for it, right? Like even if you only have like an old laptop that only shows like 480p quality, like just go for it, right? Um, like I am a perfectionist, so it's been really hard for me to learn that lesson, and I'm still trying to like come to terms with that lesson, is to not be perfect at everything, and just like it's better to post really bad quality content than to post nothing at all. That's like the lesson like I've had to learn. um I'm going on another tangent again.
That's so
But
real though.
I've always wanted to start streaming. But I just like never did because I didn't have the equipment. I only had like a HP laptop, which is not good. Um, but one day my friend started my friend from high school. She started streaming, and I was really inspired by her stream. She did tarot readings on stream actually. So she had a bunch of viewers come to her stream every Sunday. She did tarot readings for her viewers, and I participated in a lot of the readings myself as well. I had a lot of readings done for me, and they were actually like really helpful. So like if you guys don't know a lot about tarot reading, like I don't know like how accurate they are, but personally I find it like pretty helpful. I don't know. But it was really cool. And then because I was inspired from her, the moment I moved into my own apartment for the very first time, I got a gaming laptop, which is actually the same gaming laptop I'm currently streaming on right now. So I actually don't have a PC. I actually
Whoa.
still stream from a laptop.
No
So yeah,
way.
yeah, I actually still stream from a laptop. I'm currently live right now on a laptop. So yeah, if you guys don't have a PC, like literally it doesn't matter, just stream.
Yeah, for
um
real. I'm surprised.
Yeah, but I started streaming immediately when I moved into an apartment for the first time ever, and it really helped me streaming, because I was not happy where I was at the time. I had just moved to a brand new city, a brand new state for the first time ever, for a brand new job. It was a job I did not like. It was a job that didn't pay very well. And it was a very conservative area. So I felt like I didn't really fit in. I was very alone, and I didn't have any friends the entire time I lived there at all. I lived there for a year and a half, did not make a single friend. Every day I went to work at 8 a.m., got back home at 5 p.m., and then I just streamed. And streaming was the only relief I found, being there in that city at that job all by myself. Streaming became like that only relief I found. And it really helped bring me out of some big like depressive periods I had during that time. So I was really grateful for streaming, and it was a very new endeavor for me, like streaming, figuring out OBS, making graphics, doing art for my Twitch. Like when you first start streaming, there's so much you need to learn. Like you need to
Mm-hmm.
learn OBS. You need to learn how to make art. You need to learn how to make emotes, badges, panels for your about me section, overlays. So much art that goes into it. And then you also need to learn like audio settings, webcam settings. Like literally, there's so much that goes into the back end of streaming that a lot of people don't understand. It can be very overwhelming. And you literally need like 5 different monitors to even like look at everything on
Yeah.
stream. So it can be very overwhelming, but it wasn't overwhelming to me at the time because it was like there's so much to learn. It really filled up the empty space where I in that period where I was really depressed, from being in that foreign city all by myself. So streaming was kind of that cure for me, that kind of like gateway, where I could be myself. So literally every day I go to work, and like it was like 8 a.m. and all I could think about was like, okay, I'm gonna stream as soon as I get home from work, and I would look forward to that like all day. That'll be the only thing I look forward to all day. It'll be the only thing that got me through work. And then when I was unemployed too, like after I quit that job and I was unemployed, like streaming was still the only thing that got me through a very big, depressive period in my life, because I was depressed about not having a job, not feeling as adequate or on par as my peers, but streaming still made me, a lot happier. And that was also the time where I met you, Kayak. So thanks for pulling me, uplifting my life. But then, like you, I did go on hiatus last year actually, because I got a new job and it took up a lot of my time. I also moved again across the country. It was like 19 hours across the country. And then that just took up so much of my time, and I have had a lot of personal things in my life happen this last year. Actually, I was gonna say this year, but then I was like, oh wait, it's 2025. um, so then I went on a huge streaming hiatus. But now I feel like I'm ready to get back into streaming again. So now it's 2025. I want to start a weekly streaming schedule, which I haven't done since like 2023.
Wow, yeah.
Um, yeah, isn't that wild? I
Yeah.
literally ever since I went on hiatus in June. Oh, actually, I remember now. Like I went on hiatus because I went to Twice concerts. It was a 2023, and it was Twice's fifth world tour. Yeah, 2023, Twice's fifth world tour. And then I went to Chicago and Atlanta for the concerts, and then right after that, I moved across the country, and I started a new job, and I had people visit me in our new apartment from like literally every person I know in my life wanted to visit me when I moved to my new apartment. So it was like it was wild. So I was so busy, and then after I stopped streaming, I just kind of couldn't get back into the groove of it anymore, right? So I haven't streamed consistently since like May 2023, which is wild to even think
Whoa,
about.
yeah. I didn't realize it been that long,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, it feels long because it's 2025 now. So you're like, that was 2 years ago. But when I said that in 2024, it didn't feel that long because I was like, oh, it's just last year. But now that it's actually 2025, I'm like, wow, that feels so long ago.
Yeah, so much has changed since. Wow.
I know, it really has. But yeah, so in 2025, I want to stream more consistently. I want to get on a better streaming schedule. Like I'm thinking like Thursdays and Saturdays for now. But we'll see. That might be a lot because I'm still working at my job, so I was able to stream a lot more when I was unemployed. So we'll see. We'll see.
That's real. That is very real.
Um, yeah. So I want to get back on a good schedule and post content more consistently. I think that would really help.
Yeah, you're
But yeah.
one thing that's always like impressed me about you is how like disciplined you can be with like posting
Oh, I'm not
content and
disciplined.
creating. You seem like you are though. Like every time I know I see your stuff come up all the time, or
Thank you.
your cross platform posting is really on point, or it just seems very on point, at least for my end. So every time I'm always so impressed by how you'll keep going even after like now you're like 2 years in of just like posting regularly, right?
Yes.
Or pretty regularly, at least I should say.
So that's I think that's also the thing why I stopped streaming is because I was so busy with posting short form video on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you saying that you were gonna just put your time and energy more onto that than
Yeah.
streaming.
But now I want to put my time and energy into both because I feel like I was so focused on making short form content. I did not have time to make long form content. Like when I stopped streaming, I think it actually kicked off with the Twice concerts because remember I said I stopped streaming because I had to go to the Twice concerts in Chicago and Atlanta.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then my job and moving and all that took off. But because I went to the Twice concert in Chicago, I had barricade seats. So if you don't know what barricade seats are, they're literally like the first seat, like right in front of the stage. That's why they're called barricade because you're like right next to the barricade.
Yeah.
So I had barricade seats, and then I took like so many like amazing videos and all that. So I posted all those videos, all like those fan cams on Instagram and TikTok, and that like blew up. Like all those fan cams blew up, and like a bunch of people followed me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is wow. I was like, oh, well, if I blew up just from these videos, maybe I should start making more short form content. So then I did. Mainly focus on Twice because they're all my Twice fan cams that blew up. So I started making more short form content focused on Twice and K-pop, and those continued to blow up. So then I just continued to do it, and I continued to do it for 2 years, and here I am.
That is so iconic. Wow. Wow.
But that's also a reason why I kind of stopped streaming because I was so busy with short form content. I did not have time for this type of long form content. But now in this stage of my content creation career, I feel like I'm very used to creating short form content. Like I can create reels like just like that. I feel very comfortable. Like I already know the layout, the system, the production process of how I create my short form content. Like I can create them so easily now. I feel like it's like nothing to me. So I feel like now I can balance doing both short form and long form content at the same time. So that's why I want to get back into streaming more.
You're a seasoned veteran now.
Not for streaming. You saw how we took 2 hours to figure this out. So not long form content, but short form content I'm also not seasoned, but I do definitely have more experience in it over the years.
Yeah. Very nice. Yes.
So that's kind of my content creation life story, but other like personal life story stuff, I'm sure we'll get into more throughout the episodes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, I feel like my experience of like content creation, like the most I've ever blown up is through just like Twitch in general. I think Twitch streaming, that's where I've received the most I guess people, or just like more community based stuff forming. And then I feel like I've just been like more in the experimental phase and still trying to figure out where I want to navigate myself. And then like now I feel like this year is like I have an idea on how I want to do that, and so I'm just gonna go for it. Like right now, it's just like I'm just expressing myself now. Whatever happens
Right.
happens, and I'm gonna just focus on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I feel like, do you want to kind of talk about podcast goals, and then we can jump into like New Year's resolutions? Because I talked
Yes.
a little bit about my New Year's resolutions already, but we can talk about podcast goals first.
Okay. Um, Podcast goals. So I think I mentioned this earlier, but the reason
Yeah.
why I find us to be so unique and why what we say matters too is because we're both Asian people of color and female
Mm-hmm.
streamers. We're in a male dominated platform. And so our voices matter to those that are also wanting to be on this platform, or even just viewers, or, other people who are also similar to us. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that even if it's just one person making a single impact on somebody, I think is something that I have, like, that's just like a really big goal of mine, is through the content and the way that we express our lives and ourselves, it impacts at least one
Mm-hmm.
person.
Yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
like the main goal that I have for this podcast, is sharing experiences, impacting um, the cuties.
Yes, the cuties. We love you, cuties. I think that no matter how you put yourself online, like as long as you're a public figure, you'll always impact at least one person. Like even if you don't know it yourself, you will impact at least one person.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
as someone that puts yourself in the public eye, like whether it's bad or good, and honestly that's up to you as a public figure, um, you will impact people. Like everyone that watches your streams, your YouTube videos, your shorts, they will be impacted in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's a small impact, a big impact, a good impact, or a bad impact, anyone who consumes content that we put out there is going to be impacted in some way. So
Yeah,
hopefully we can
definitely.
give them a good impact.
Yeah, I agree.
and leave them something to think about, and hopefully be inspired about
Hmm.
at the end.
Yeah, I agree. What are one of your goals for the podcast?
So mine's are kind of similar to yours. Like you said, I definitely want people to be inspired and impacted by the podcast. Hopefully, give them something to think about, give them something to maybe let them see things in a new perspective, have topics of conversation that are typically more taboo, hopefully be more opened up, let others hopefully be more open-minded, about a lot of these discussions, that we're going to talk about in the future. Also, I hope we get to 1 million subscribers.
Yes.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, but if it does, we should do a celebration.
Oh, for
But
sure.
we should set goals. Like if we reach 1,000 followers, then or like subscribers on YouTube, whichever comes first, we should meet up in person and do a podcast together.
In real life? Oh my
Like
gosh,
live. Yeah, in real
yes.
life. In real life. That could be our 1,000 followers slash subscriber goal.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a plan. We're marking
Okay.
this right now.
Yeah.
1,000 subscribers or followers. We'll do an in real life
Yeah.
stream, podcast,
Yes.
live.
Let's do it. That would be so fun. um, let's see other goals for the podcast. Honestly, just like continuing to improve and develop the podcast. I want to
Yeah.
continue to improve our graphics, our concept, our branding. Hopefully we get a better start to the podcast in future episodes, so we don't spend 2 hours scuffed technological issues planning. Um, and yeah, it'll be really fun. And I feel like I'm also the kind of person who tends to stutter or say a lot of filler words. So
Yeah.
I don't. If you guys have probably noticed, I've said a lot of like likes and ums and ahs and
Me too.
yeah. I want to speak more eloquently. I want to tell stories more consistently, and what's the word? Have a better, what's the word? Like, I want to tell stories so they make more sense. I know there's a
Yeah.
better word for that. But I want to improve my speaking skills, I guess, and to speak more eloquently. And I think the podcast will be able to help with that.
Yeah.
So that's a personal goal for me
Yeah.
for the podcast.
I totally agree on
Articulate.
that.
That's the word. Articulate. I want to
Yes.
articulate better. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like it's a similar goal for me. See, here I
Yeah.
go with I feel like I have a lot of brain farts. So there will be
Yes, me too.
times where
It's hard for me to
yeah.
talk like on. Oh, I said like again. It's hard for me to think on the spot. So I want to get better at that. And I think the podcast will be able to help with that.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I tend to kind of just forget what I'm saying because my mind will be like, there's so many things happening at once. So
Yeah.
then, like, if I'm too distracted inside my mind, I will end up just being like brain fart and then forget what I'm even doing. I mean, it's happened already, like, what, twice on this podcast where I'm like, what were we doing again? I think before when we were setting up and stuff, I would be like, what were we doing? Like, I just end up brain farting. So that,
Mhm.
I think practicing, discussing, practicing speaking live and trying to say things more cohesively and coherently. I think for me is also another
Yeah,
goal
I
that I
agree.
have, personal goal for myself too.
Like you said earlier about how you used to be, pretty shy, but streaming has kind of brought you out of your comfort zone, made you more confident. I kind of want the podcast to be where we develop more, I guess, like faster thinking, more better articulation, more, coherent ways of speaking, I guess.
Yeah, and
Is
I
my goal.
I think
Yeah.
like the longer we go with this, the more we'll also get an idea of our dynamic and how like
Yes.
things flow
Yes.
better. Cause like
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
even when, even just like hanging out with friends, like you end up developing a dynamic and inside jokes and all that stuff. I think that that'll
Mm-hmm.
be like the same concept with developing this podcast. Um, like
Yeah.
the inside jokes that we'll create or even just like
Yeah.
the like I feel like our storytelling will be getting creative because of just like the way that we
Mm.
discuss things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm not making sense right now, but you know what I'm saying,
No,
right?
yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
definitely that. I think another personal goal that I have is I do, like you said, like with the whole branding and the way things look, I
Mm-hmm.
also, this is something that I'm not super, I guess, knowledgeable about. So I'm learning a lot through you when it comes to like branding and
Oh,
design and logos and stuff, which is really fun for me. So I think even as a creative and a creator, I'm going to be growing, which will show definitely in this and my other platforms too. So I'm really excited
mm-hmm.
for that one. I feel
Yeah.
like that's also a goal that I have is to get better at designing and creating the things that
Yeah,
I'm
me
not
too.
really as at that good at. So that would be like design and then to
Yeah,
increase it more when we're doing this podcast.
me too. I think you're already so amazing though. So
Oh, thank you.
I'm not sure what you can improve, but I support you.
Thank you. But yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, Kayak actually made this overlay. This beautiful overlay you see right here was made by Kayak. We kind of split the duties for making graphics and stuff. So I made the logo. Where is it? This way. This. Oh my gosh, I can't point.
On my
This
stream, it's
way.
this way.
What?
What?
This way.
This
There.
right there.
This way. Okay. I made the logo, and then Kayak made this beautiful overlay. So we kind of like split the duties in that.
Yeah, the logo looks amazing. The first time I saw your concept, I was like, "Oh my god, this is gorgeous."
Aw, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, well, do you want to kind of transition into New Year's resolutions now?
Yes. Okay. Cracking cracking
Let's
the knuckles here.
do it. Let's do
Um,
it.
okay. So some of my New Year's resolutions, like personal at least, we'll start with personal. I think I want
Mm-hmm.
to get better at finding a balance for myself. So I think like the
Mm.
whole give and take in my personal relationships, family members, and friendships, but also implementing more boundaries. So I think boundaries are definitely something that makes you feel good. It's not necessarily like a punishment, so to speak, if that makes sense. So I think like I'm seeing in myself that I need to implement more self-care for the betterment of my relationships.
Mm.
And so
For sure.
one of
Self care
those
is
things,
very important.
yes, one of those things is create like just speaking up more about my boundaries and being
Mm-hmm.
honest about them. And then I want to, this year, I want to be more regular when it comes to creating. So, whether that is off, like publicly, like not on screen, or if it is on screen, because I want to do more art stuff. So, I've been painting more. And then also, like, I eventually want to create music, which I'm going to try to do for the
Ooh.
GirlyPop TV
I can't wait.
jingle. So I think
Ooh.
this year's gonna definitely be a bit more experimental, but I think I'm gonna grow a lot as a creative because there's always so many things that I want to do, and I really believe in you can do all those things. It's just a matter of managing time. So I think at the end of it all is I want to manage my time better. And right now I'm unemployed, so
Mm-hmm.
the world is my oyster as of right now. And there's
Nice.
only right now because that's not going to last
Mm-hmm.
forever. So I think that's at least my creative goal is
Mm-hmm.
to at least be creating regularly. Um,
Mm. That's a
and
great goal.
so creating regularly, taking
Nice.
care of myself, and then biggest thing is since I am an actor, I just recently got a talent agent. So my goal,
Ooh.
thank you.
That is so exciting.
I know my goal is to actually get casted in a short film. But like, I mean, technically, I already did get casted, and it might be submitted
You
to.
already got casted?
Okay, I got casted in a short film, a student short film in December. We filmed in
Okay,
December
of this year.
of 2024.
Oh, of 2024.
Yeah, so
Oh, wait, so you already filmed it?
I already filmed a short film, yeah.
Oh,
That's going to
I
be
didn't know that.
submitted this year to a short film festival. But we don't
Oh,
know if
oh
it's
my
going to be
gosh.
like a good to go on the we don't know cuz it has to be accepted into the festival. So, we don't know yet
Okay.
about that. But yes, I already am in a short film, but I want to be in another one. I want to be in another short film
Wow.
this year, at least one, but my goal
Okay.
is to be in at least something every month if I
That
can
is so
be.
exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay, make sure you leak it to me after the podcast.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you it. They just sent me the footage, so I have it now. I
Ooh,
know
okay,
it's
that's so
edited and done.
exciting.
Yeah. Um so that's also another one is like
Wow.
I want to really up my game with acting. I want to be in
Mm.
more
Mm-hmm.
dramatic cuz my acting experience before is more silly like crazy content.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more internet based. Like I'm looking to be more into like TV and movie sphere. So that'll be
Mm-hmm.
a
That's so
shift in itself.
exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think that's like those are my biggest things like getting out of my comfort zone cuz acting has been something I've always wanted to do my whole life. I feel like I've been since I was a kid, like 3 years old, I wanted to be on an actress.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think now that I'm actually doing it, it's kind of terrifying but exciting at the same time, which is something I'm learning how to juggle with too.
That is so exciting. I just want to say congratulations. Like,
Oh, thank
that is such a
you.
big milestone to accomplish in your professional life, like
I
it would
know.
be really scary and like nerve wracking, but it's something that's gonna take you very far. I'm really excited to see like all the places that you'll go with that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think those are like the main big goals that I have. And I feel like I have a lot of overlapping mini goals too. Like I want to, get a little more active. So I want to pick one
Mm-hmm.
thing to do every single day for like 15 minutes
Oh, nice.
to at least move my body. So sometimes I'll just dance in my room, I'm not going to lie, just to move my
Nice.
body.
I love that.
Or like go on walks. I used to go on walks last year a lot more often.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's also something I'm trying to implement. I need to
Yeah,
move
I love
more.
that.
But yeah.
Um, if I can ask, how did it feel to kind of like quit your old job and like without having another job lined up, but with the hope that you'll, get an offer, or you'll get like
Work
another
basically.
prospect. Like obviously it worked out now because you got an agent and you're
Hmm.
literally doing so many amazing things. But you didn't know that when you quit your job, right?
No, I
So
didn't
like,
know.
was it scary to like quit without having anything in sight?
Yes, I was terrified. And like, now I live and pay bills basically. Like I don't live with my
Yeah.
parents anymore.
Yeah.
So that was also an added layer of like, oh, I'm really on my own here. I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. And so like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've been contemplating doing it for a long time. I remember having a conversation with an old friend of mine, and at the time I was very headstrong of like, I'm just going to find another job because I wasn't a fan of my job at the time, and I knew I needed to move on to something else. That was essentially what it was. I needed to move
Mm-hmm.
on to something else. I just didn't know what that was. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was looking, but nothing was like happening. I would get interviews here and there, but it just never happened. And so when I was having a conversation with my old friend, they were like, I mean, you have a solid savings. If I was you and I had no debt, I would just go for it. And it's so weird, but I just never thought of that. Like, it was just not
Mm-hmm.
even a thought in my mind to ever make a decision like that because I was already like, well, that's irresponsible. Like, I was already
Yeah.
like, not even allowing myself to go there. And I
Mm-hmm.
think because they offered that perspective of just like, if I were you, like, what's 6 months? Like, they were saying, like, what is 6 months gonna do? Like, you can always end up finding another job, and then you never know what happens from there. But you never know what happens in 6 months either. And like, what if you were to just do that?
So true.
And so and they said that like a while ago, and I kind of just like
Mm-hmm.
marinated on it and kind of went back and forth still, but it was still in the back of my mind. And then I had so much fear, like, "Ah, I don't know if I should do it." And then
Mm-hmm.
something in me just kind of clicked. And literally the next week, I put my 2 weeks in. Like, it was a really
Wow.
like something changed in my head. And I was like, no, I'm going to do this. I know how I can like budget my money, and I know I can last even longer than 6 months if I really wanted to, but I don't think that's gonna. I really trusted
Mm-hmm.
that I will find something,
Yeah.
and even if it were to come, like I was like, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, I would have to move in with my family again, and kind of reroute and figure out my next steps after that. But who knows what happens either. So I think that was also maybe my like optimistic mindset, and maybe
Yeah.
people will say it's delusional, but for me it was like, well, I won't know unless I try, so I'm just gonna go for it. Literally have no other excuse anymore when it comes to content. And so that was also a motivator to this decision, was like, I want to be doing more creative things that challenge me mentally, and this is the time to start. So that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a whirlwind of emotions. And believe me, being unemployed and like, for the most part, like I just hang out in my room. So it's like, it does get kind of lonely, but at the same time, like, I think better things are going to be coming, Like, it's like a one
For
day at a
sure.
time thing. And so, yeah, it was a hard decision, but when it really came down to it, I was like, yeah, F it. Let's just do it.
Yeah. For For sure. Like I think sometimes you have to break down doors in order to find a better door after that door, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And it's crazy because literally a week after I quit my job, that's when I had an interview with my talent agent. And that's why I was like, oh, it was
Wow.
like as if the universe was like, you know what?
Yeah,
This is
for
what you
real.
needed to do. Here you go. Now what are you going to do
Mhm.
with this? And it's funny because even after that things started falling into place. So there's like other
Oh,
oh,
I think you froze. Oh no, I think
what was I saying?
um sorry. Ugly popcorn chat said it freezes because you're too hot.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
Okay. You're talking about how another like a week later your agency called.
Yeah, so it was just funny how everything kind of snowballed. And
Yeah.
even so, like, there were other opportunities that have opened up too, other than the agency one. Like, I think because
Mhm.
I was working even before I quit my job on like my acting resumes and like my demo, like just getting everything together, my portfolio, and then once I had all those stuff ready, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna make the jump. So then I made the jump, and then that's when opportunities started coming because I had more time to also just be on my computer and applying to stuff
Mhm.
too. But yeah, so then I also had two other opportunities, which I can't really say right now, but there's two other opportunities that I'm also going to be working with. And right now it's kind of like we're figuring it out.
Ooh.
I'll tell you after. But
Okay, okay.
there's like there's just been more things coming where I'm like, okay, like I see that this is actually how things were supposed to go and that this was meant to be clearly. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so
Crazy.
exciting. I feel like you're so much braver than I am because when I was really struggling, like I did not like my first job. I really wanted to quit, but I didn't want to quit without having another job lined up because I was
Mhm.
like, I don't want to go, months without making money because I need money to live.
That's
So I
real.
kind of
Yeah.
like I just stuck at it and I just like was in misery the whole time. But
Yeah.
I think at one point you need to learn what is the cost of your mental health and what is the cost of your job. Like obviously don't quit if you're going to be like in poverty,
Of course.
afterwards. If you have like no savings, like don't quit. But if you do, like you just, you need to be smart about it. Like balance out your budget, look into your financial accounts and see if you can,
For
last without
sure.
a job because sometimes like it's not worth that like mental health. Um but for me, I didn't quit my first job until I was literally forced to, because
Mhm.
I moved in with Popcorn, and at the time we were long distance, so she lived across the country. She was literally in a different like state, like 19 hours away from me. So I
Wow.
moved in with her, and then it was a in-person only job. So I basically was forced to quit so I could move in with her.
Yeah.
So that like forced me to quit, and then I was unemployed for like 6 months.
Mhm.
While I was uh living with Popcorn. But I don't know. I feel like if I didn't move in with her, if I didn't have that like excuse, I would say to quit my job, I don't know if I would have ever quit just because I didn't like it there. So,
Yeah.
listening to your story, I would say that you're very brave and courageous for actually doing that and just deciding
Thanks.
like a time to be like, okay, bye guys.
Yeah.
So,
It like
props to you for that.
thank you. And I feel like this is like something I really thought hard about. Like
For sure.
I feel like, it also goes with like the whole thought process behind what capitalism tells you should think about money too. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
my whole thing was like if I'm gonna, I was trying to reframe it in my head like, what's meant for me
Mm-hmm.
is meant for me. Money comes, but money goes, and then money comes back. Like it's always just a flow. And whether that's gonna be maybe in this moment of my life, it's gonna be a little bit of a go, but then it will come eventually. because that's just usually the way life goes. Like money will come back eventually. And that was kind of like my thought process about it too. Like if it means I gain more experience, if it means things change in my life, if it means I grow as a person, I would much rather have that than to feel like I'm going through the shitter every single day, respectfully. And that's just
For
like,
sure.
I don't want to talk, like I don't want to be
Yeah. Yeah.
an a-hole about it. We never said if we wanted to cuss in this. Let's just like make this a definitive thing so I don't accidentally do it. Do we want
I'm
to or
okay with
no?
anything.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not trying to make an ass out of myself, but like, if I'm just not mentally doing well, I just feel like that should be a priority. I feel like it
Mm-hmm.
sucks that capitalism knocks us down to the point where we need money so much that we forget ourselves too in the process. And I think that's also what I'm deeply afraid of is forgetting myself to be a slave for capitalism. I mean, either
Mm.
way, we have to work under these
Yeah.
circumstances, like it's inevitable. But if I have the opportunity to just be like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't, and I can say that, then I'm not going to do it. Like that was kind of also another part of the thought process as I was having, like trying to really think about like, no, I feel like I'm getting to the point where I feel it in my body rejecting where I'm at. And I just need to
Mm-hmm.
figure out
That's when you know
a
you're
next,
gonna leave. Yeah.
yeah, I just knew I just needed to peace out and figure something else out. But
For sure. And
yeah.
like that's so courageous of you to do. And props to you for finding that point where you're like, this is where I need to call it quits. This is where this is the moment I'm taking action to change my life instead of being stuck in the same divot that I've been stuck in for a really long time. Like this hole that's taking me literally nowhere. And I don't see my life progressing
Yeah.
at all because I'm stuck in this hole and taking
Yeah.
the action to be like, okay, like that's it. Like I want my life to I don't want this to be my life forever. I want to do something different with my life. I want to progress my life, in a productive way that is important to me. And like I think taking that action is definitely the hardest part.
For
Like you
sure.
can think it all you want, but taking like, tangible action is definitely the most difficult part.
You know, the biggest inspiration that also led me to this decision. Sorry, this is
Hmm.
something I can really just talk
Yeah,
about.
go ahead. I
um
mean, the podcast is literally meant for us to yap, so
so true. Yeah, you're
go
right.
on.
So I have a friend of mine who also made a
Mhm.
huge jump recently. So literally a year
Mhm.
ago, they were like creating their own business, working with clients and stuff. And then they've had this itching dream for the longest time to go and like they love working with food. So they wanted to work with food on like a yacht or a cruise ship or just be on like be out to sea traveling and also cooking food for people. And she just sold everything. And she has a
Mhm.
partner, mind you. So this was like they both came to an agreement. She sold everything, donated all the things that she doesn't need, left everything at home, moved across across the nation just to start at this yacht. And then she's been doing that for one whole year and now she's on like a ship
Wow.
in Europe cooking
Oh,
as
wow.
a chef, and which was her dream in general. That was her biggest dream was she
That is
wanted to be a chef
wild.
on a ship traveling the world. And now she's literally doing that 1 year of making that decision. And that's why I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, what am I doing then? Like I'm not in a place that's growing me anymore. So if I can make a jump and I have the means to do that, why aren't I doing that too?" So that was also a really huge inspiration because I was like, she did that in a span of 1 year. Who knows what can happen if I were to actually be intentional about, going
Yeah.
after something like acting. And like, not to say that that just happens in 1 year. I understand. For some people, it happens
Mm-hmm.
years and years later. But why not try? And that was like, that was also just the biggest inspiration factor too of like, if she can do some stuff like that, then I'm gonna try to do some stuff like that too.
Yeah, for sure. I read this post on Instagram. I don't remember who the author was, but they're like, if you commit to doing something, like do it every day for a certain specified amount of hours, like if you truly commit to doing it, you can change your entire life in just 6 months.
Yeah,
So
I
if I
believe it.
like wanted to become fluent in a different language, if I like went at it and literally practiced for 3 hours every single day for 6 months, I could at least get to like a conversational level in any language that I wanted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I
if
agree.
if you just it's about consistency and commitment. If you really want to do something and you take action to stick to it, do it every single day, then you can actually change the course of your whole life. But a lot of people don't do that because they're used to the familiar, like the routine. Like
Yeah.
people love what they already do because it's safe. It's like a safe space for them, right? Like what they already know is what they already know how to do is a safe space because they know they're good at it. So a lot of people just in their entire lives they never try to venture out of that safe space they've created for themselves.
Yeah.
um so knowing to break away from that and just if you ever want to learn something new, like if you ever want to change the trajectory of your entire life, if you just pick something and just stick to it and commit to it for 6 months, like your entire life could change. So
I
that's what I read online, and I'm like, wow, that is like so enlightening.
I 100% agree. I think if you were to really put your mind into something, and even if it was just
Mm-hmm.
like 15 minutes per day of something, who knows what could even
Yeah.
happen in 6 months. And even then, like,
Mm-hmm.
say you commit to 15 minutes per day. I've read that some people and like they commit to whatever time they have, but then they end up wanting to do more. So they end up working
Yeah.
on it more, and that self-discipline over time. Yeah, you just really never know what happens. And that's why I was like, in a span of just a few weeks from quitting my job, I
Mm-hmm.
already gained so much more than I ever
For
thought I was ever
sure.
going to get. And
Yeah.
that's why I was like, oh, wait, I'm receiving answers and I'm going to keep going now.
Yeah. For sure. Like once you see that one thing, like grab onto it and don't let it go.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you can spend years like doing this at the same job, doing the same thing, never growing. And then you can leave that place where you've become stagnant and then suddenly learn so much and do so much and grow and experience so much in just one day than you have in all those years of being at that previous job or position that
Yeah.
you previously were in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it honestly is hard though to just I know we're talking about it like it's really easy, like you just stand up and change your life. But honestly, it is really hard
It
because
is.
like even just doing something like 15 minutes every day, like that consistency is hard, and that's also one of my New Year's resolution. I'll get into that later once we go back to talking
Mm-hmm.
about resolutions. But just even like doing something for 15 minutes every day is also really hard because naturally everyone has like learned habits and like learned behaviors, and we have habits that we do every single day. For example, like we brush our teeth every day, we shower every day, hopefully. But uh, but if you were to insert something into that routine, it's hard to change up the schedule and routine that you currently have for your life. So in order to uh, implement a new habit into your daily routine, you need to kind of like force yourself to do it. You need to like set timers,
Yes.
and you need to like it's gonna be really hard. Like you need to literally like force yourself to do it. And then you can't miss like even a single day. Like if you do miss a day, you definitely cannot miss the second day. Like never miss 2 days in a row. You have to really go for it. But yeah, it is really hard because everyone naturally has all those ingrained mindsets, those ingrained habits that they already
Yeah.
have.
I think it's definitely a balance of
Mm-hmm.
understanding and being compassionate when you don't, adhere to
Yes.
your goals. But also, I think it takes a lot of mental strength to keep that kind of consistency, like you were saying. And I think I know I myself have a hard time because my thing is, if my mood changes, I will feel more reluctant to do something. And sometimes I will
Oh,
convince
yes.
myself not to do it because I need to take
Mm-hmm.
care of myself. Maybe I don't, da, 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 blah, 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 whatever the reasoning is.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I think when it comes to like moving my body specifically, like going to the gym, I never have done it super like
Mm.
consistently unless it was like with a friend. And that would probably last like 3 months at most. And then after that, it kind of
Mm-hmm.
falls off. But if I were to do something that was actually more fun for me, so dancing in my room for 15 minutes, start a timer, and I just start dancing to my favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm not feeling like that hyped up, maybe I need to go on a walk. So maybe it's also about finding what works with your flow. And I think at least that's what
Right.
I'm discovering with myself. Maybe I need to find something that works with my flow more than like being strict. Because I think when
Mm-hmm.
it's too strict for me, I get kind of like, I don't wanna.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I, I,
don't
I
really
think a
feel
good way
like
for
it.
me is that, so I do like Duolingo every day because I'm trying to study Chinese. So I usually do it right before bedtime. I think if you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to incorporate a new habit into your day-to-day routine, you can find a pre-existing habit that you already have. For example, like you brush your teeth every day, right? So you can just say, I brush my teeth every day. Right after I brush my teeth in the morning, I'm gonna go on Duolingo and do my daily lesson or whatever new like skill or habit you're trying to implement.
Yeah.
And if you, it's, I think it's called like habit stacking.
Mm-hmm.
So if you automatically put a habit that you want to implement right after a habit that you already have, then you'll start to do that automatically every day. So it's easier to kind of like habit stack instead of just be like, oh, every day at 4 I'll do this, because you don't have any like markers, I guess, before or after
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
signify that you'll start that new habit.
Yeah, that's funny you say that because I'm starting Duolingo, so I'm on day 10 right now.
Oh, cool. Yes, make friend me.
Yeah, wait, yeah, let's be friends on
Yeah, add me.
Duolingo.
We can have like a streak together, because like on
Yes.
Duolingo you have like streaks, but you can
Yeah.
also have friend streaks on Duolingo where you can keep each other accountable. So we should do that.
Oh my gosh, yes, because that's also another New Year's resolution goal is
Okay,
to
okay,
get
yes.
365 this year. So
Ooh,
I'm on day
awesome.
10. We're on January 4th, 2025.
What
So
what language?
Spanish, because that was already something I
Oh,
was
nice.
doing. So I was like, you know
That's true.
what?
I remember that.
Yeah, I want to keep going because like I do want to eventually, understand or be more
Hmm.
fluent in Spanish. But yeah, so that it's funny you say that. What I was gonna say was, my routine with Duolingo that I've been discovering is waking up and like I already go on my phone when I wake up, which is a habit I need to
Hmm.
change, but c'est la vie right now. um, but I wake up and I do Duolingo. Like, that's my routine right
That's
now
a good
is
no. That's a good habit because it'll wake you up and it'll force you not to go back to sleep or like do mindless scrolling.
yes, that it actually has been helping me to like, oh, okay, I need to be on now. Like
Hmm.
this is the way to get my mental cognitions going.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to mention.
Yeah, that's also funny that you mentioned that, because one of my New Year's goals, one of my New Year resolutions is to get out of bed earlier. Um, and that is different from waking up for me because I can wake up at a good time, but then I stay on my phone in bed for like 2 hours. So
No
I
way.
want to wake up and get out of bed. And getting out of bed is really hard for me. I don't know why, but it's really, really hard for me. Like
Hmm.
I always like tell myself, like, I have to get out of bed now. I'm literally wasting the day away, mindlessly scrolling on my phone in bed, accomplishing nothing, doing nothing. I need to get out of bed. I keep telling myself I need to get out of bed. I need to get out of bed. I need to get out of bed. My
Hmm.
body refuses to get out of bed. Like my body is not listening to my mind. And I don't know. I feel like for people listening to this, like it might sound really stupid. Like, why can't you just get out of bed? Like, just lift your legs up, get out of bed. Like, just do it. Like it's not that hard. But I don't know. There's just some kind of like mental block for me
Mm-hmm.
that makes it really hard to get out of bed in the morning. So that's something I want to work on for this new year.
Yeah, I agree. There'll be times when I'm also like on my phone in bed when the minute I
Mm-hmm.
wake up too. I've been reading that people are saying that it's it's too overstimulating for when you wake up, that it can like the start of your day
Mm.
affects the rest of your day basically. So I think
Yeah, that
that's
makes
also
sense.
like an added component of how it can leak into the rest of your day
Mm.
too.
Yeah, we just need to get rid of social media and phones. I say as a
You
social
know
media
what?
content
Yeah,
creator.
no, exactly. This has been my biggest like battle is I love being out touching grass and not like,
Mhm.
being stuck on my phone. But here I am also doing what creators do, being on their phones. I
Yeah.
think there's like this, sorry, quick tangent. But there's
Yeah,
this side of
go
YouTube
ahead.
where people are now like basically taking other devices. So our phones does everything, right? Camera, it
Mhm.
does audio recording, music, all that jazz, right? But say for instance, you get yourself a flip phone, then it's really only meant to be for just calling and texting. So if
Mm.
you changed your phone to be the essentials, and then you got yourself a camera to use, a MP3
Mhm.
player to listen to music, like basically going back to the 2000s, the early 2000s and before, of just like you had your music somewhere else, you had your camera somewhere else, your video recording device somewhere else, like
Interesting.
splitting
Yeah.
up your devices again so that now you're not so stuck on one device too. Like you actually have a selective hobby that's outside
Mhm.
of the phone, and it gets you off your phone too. I don't know. That was also like something
That's
I
so
was considering
interesting.
to start doing, but I don't know. That one's like a little loosey goosey. I think I'll have to think about how I want to navigate that.
But a phone is just so convenient because I'm like, I want to take a picture of something, so I can just whip it out. I want to write something on a notes app, just whip it out. I want to measure my heartbeat. I can whip that out on my phone too.
No, exactly. And I think that's where I get kind of like, but hold on.
Mhm.
I really like what the phone can do for this. And
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I think managing time on the phone.
hmm For me, it's mostly social media. Like I have a really hard time stopping myself from mindlessly scrolling,
Hmm.
or like doom scrolling on social media on like Instagram Reels. Oh, Instagram Reels is like the worst part of it. Like
Really?
honestly, I hate social media. Like honestly, if I wasn't a content creator, I would just delete all social media from
Me
my
too.
phone. I would delete every single app, but I can't because I post every day on those apps. Um, but I kind of like got rid of Twitter already because ever since like Elon Musk took over Twitter, or X
Yeah.
as he calls it, it's been like a cesspool of like extreme right wing, tweets on my feed. So I just kind of like I just got done with it. So I just kind of like kind of stopped going on Twitter.
Me
But
too.
Instagram I go on too much. TikTok I go on a little less. I still go on a lot. I don't really use anything else. So it's mostly Instagram.
Instagram.
That's really bad for me. And I would delete it, but I post on there every day, so I can't delete it. That's like
Understandable.
the yeah, like that's the dilemma of being a content creator. You need social media to be a content creator, but I also hate social media.
No, exactly. I think I'm the opposite as you. I am on TikTok a lot, and I am on
Interesting.
Instagram. I'm not really on Instagram Reels actually at all. Yeah,
Interesting.
I don't really go on there, or YouTube Shorts. I don't go on YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, I think the demographic of TikTok is like Gen Z, and
What are
then
you trying to
the
say?
demographic of Instagram is more like millennial, and then YouTube Shorts is like Gen Alpha. That's kind of like how I've seen it.
Oh,
And all
I
my
see
friends are
that.
yeah, like all my friends are like millennials. I mean, they're technically like Gen Z, but they act millennial. Um, so everyone's on like all my friends are on Instagram Reels, and then I was like, oh my god, did you look at that reel I sent you? I have no friends on TikTok, so that's why I've kind of like
Oh,
gravitated towards Reels, and I also have my biggest following content creation wise on Instagram. So
that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
let me tell you my Instagram screen time for today.
Oh my
Did
gosh.
you know you can look up? Did you know like you can look up screen time on the phone?
Yes. I'm afraid to share my
Um,
actual screen time.
okay, I'll share you, or you can actually just see like just the Instagram screen time. No, mine is really bad. Okay, let me see. So if you go to your Instagram
Is
account,
it time
you
management?
can go to settings, yes, and then go to time management, and you can see
Oh, I
your
see my
yeah time
average.
management, and it's yes. So today I've that's actually not that bad. Today I was on Instagram for 1 hour and 37 minutes. That's not bad.
Whoa. Okay, you want to know what
Is
mine
that a lot?
is?
Okay, what is yours?
Today I was on Instagram for 23 minutes.
Nice.
That's how much I don't. My average is 34 minutes. I don't really go on Instagram that much.
Okay, do you want to know my screen time on my phone?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's actually not bad today.
Oh, me too.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
you go first.
Oh, okay. Mine is 3 hours and 58 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. That's pretty good. That's really
That
good,
no, this is
actually.
actually a really good day. I was not on my phone a
That's
lot, I
really
guess.
good. Okay, disclaimer, this is a really good day for me too, okay? So today I was on my phone for 6 hours and 9 minutes.
Damn.
That's not bad for me. Last Okay, when I was oh my gosh, yeah. Last Saturday? No, last Friday. No wait. Yeah, last Friday. I was on my phone for 12 hours and 55 minutes.
Okay, I also have a shameless one. Shameful,
I would show
actually.
you my phone, but it says it has personal information on it.
That's okay. So, yesterday was a bad day for me because
Okay.
I was sick and I was home all day, resting and on my phone.
Okay, well that's reasonable.
My screen time yesterday was 12 hours and 47 minutes.
Well, I still beat you.
Wait, okay, can you see your average? What's your average?
um like this week?
Yeah. Or it'll say like your
This
daily
week?
average of the week.
Oh, yeah, this week my daily average was 6 hours and 9 minutes.
Oh, I beat you with that one.
Really? What is yours?
My daily average right this week is 8
For this
hours
week?
and 37 minutes.
Oh,
A full-time job.
that's wow, that is a full-time
Yeah.
job. Wow.
That's shameful, dude. Ah.
My my average last week was 10 hours and 26 minutes.
Oh, mine was 7 hours and 43 minutes.
So I was worse last week and you were worse this week.
Yeah. Oh, you
That's
know
so
why?
sad.
I know why. I think that was during Christmas time when I did the data
Uh,
strike where I just completely got off my phone.
oh, really? That's
Yeah.
good. I need
So
to do that.
there's literally 3 days with very small amounts of phone
That's
time.
good. I need to do that. But yeah, it honestly makes me sad looking at it because I'm like, wow, I was on my phone for 10 hours. Imagine what else I could have done in those 10 hours.
I know, I think about
That's
that
a work
too.
day.
I think about that
That's
too.
so sad. I'm like, how much of my life did I waste away on my phone?
I sometimes I wonder if that's why I experience a lot of brain fog because I'm just so used to mindlessly scrolling.
Mm,
Like that's my routine
yeah.
in life where there's a portion of my day where I'm mindless.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
I don't know
Hmm.
if that contributes to like brain fog. I mean, I'm sure there's other contributors, but you know what I'm saying? Like I
Hmm.
don't know if that's like an added layer to, you know,
Hmm.
just feeling very brain foggy or like losing track of my
Yeah.
thoughts.
I know people talk about like post-COVID like time dilation, where basically time seems to move so much faster after COVID
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
And I feel that too. I don't know if it's because like I graduated from college, and then I entered like the adult world, the working world,
yeah.
the workforce, and in the workforce, when you're actually an adult, it moves way faster than it did when you were in like school, because in school, like
Mm-hmm.
things were different every day. You're doing different things, whether that's like club activities or events or going out, hang out with friends.
Yeah,
But once you're actually in the workforce, you're literally just at the same job. You know, you're 9 to 5. Every single day is the same. Nothing's different.
yeah.
So that's kind of like a reason why time feels to move faster, I think. But a part of me is also like, like reels, like TikTok, like the vertical short form scrolling content didn't really happen until TikTok either. So that was
Oh, and that was
2020. Like TikTok,
2020.
yeah, like TikTok became big in 2020, like during COVID, right? Like everyone's doing TikTok dances. And then because of TikTok, there was Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. Like vertical short form content wasn't a thing, wasn't really a thing before TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does that also contribute to the post COVID time dilation because we're now like mindlessly scrolling on our phones so much?
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably. Because I didn't really like scroll like that before COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, I was online and sometimes it was chronic, but
Mm-hmm.
chronic in the sense of I'd like before it was like I'd watch YouTube a lot.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like I feel like TikTok is dangerous and maybe this is the same with Instagram Reels because it's just ever ongoing. Like it's
Yeah.
YouTube you
There's
can
no
stop.
end.
Yeah, long form
Mm-hmm.
content there's a stop. Like you don't have to keep I never had the autoplay
Mm-hmm.
option on for me. So it was always just like, "All
Yeah.
right, I'm done watching videos or whatever." But TikTok is an ongoing addiction of just dopamine,
Yeah.
dopamine, dopamine.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe that's why time seems to move faster. I don't know if you feel the same way too, but for me, I feel like time moves so fast now compared to when it did like like pre-COVID. Like I feel like I don't know if it's also like part of just being older, but like years, like days turn to months turn to years. Like I just feel like I'm gonna blink and I'll be 60. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like life is going by so fast now, and honestly, it's so scary.
Yeah, I think it's a sign that we all need to pause and smell the flowers, literally, like
Mm-hmm.
actually trying to do that.
Yeah. And I've been recently talking with my therapist about mindfulness, which is really important.
Mm-hmm.
So she really emphasized being mindful in the present. Like when you're hanging out with friends, like don't be on your phone. Like pay attention to what's going on around you. Not even just when you're hanging out with friends, like when you're doing anything really. Like even if you're driving, like you're at a red light, like don't like look at your phone or daydream. Like think about where you are right now. Like feel like what you're sitting on right now. Feel like the
Mm-hmm.
wheel that you're touching. Like what do you see? Like I think a good technique is like name like three things that you can see right now, three things that you hear, three things
Yeah.
that you can touch, three things that you smell. It's like really using your five senses and being present in the environment that you are currently in right now instead
Mm-hmm.
of like doing other things. And that's also kind of like with um how I should not multitask, I guess, because I think multitasking is good if you can be really concentrated and like focused and disciplined about it. But I am not that person. So just being present in the moment, and not doing other tasks and just focusing on where you are, who you're talking to, and what's going on right now, is really important to practicing mindfulness. For example, like this podcast is happening right now, like I'm talking to you right now, like I want to
Mm-hmm.
be present here in the moment, like I want to be with you because like what you're saying is important. I want
Mm-hmm.
to truly be here and like listen and absorb
Yeah.
everything that you're saying. And what I'm saying, like I need to truly be here in the moment to know what I'm saying. So I don't want to like be on this podcast and like talk to each other, but also like me like, you know, typing on the side or like doing like other things on the side. Like I want to truly be present in the moment, and that's, you know, another way to practice mindfulness and getting rid of that kind of like doom scrolling where your attention is always on your phone.
Definitely.
So that's something I'm working on.
No, that's
Another
such
one of my
a
New Year's resolutions.
that's a really good one. I think that's also something I need to work on too. Also, a bit
Mm-hmm.
of a side note. I'm realizing that my camera battery is not charging. Sorry, this is going to be a quick side note. So I'm
Okay,
at
yeah.
the last Yeah, I'm at the last bar of my
Oh,
camera.
okay.
It's just a heads up in
Do you need to
case.
get your charger or?
Um I see the whole thing is I thought this was already charging. So now I'm confused.
Oh.
I didn't say we have 2 minutes. I just I'm just now
You know that
afraid.
TikTok audio that's like you have 30 minutes.
But I mean, I have my second webcam if we end up wanting to keep talking. I was gonna say conversating, but I don't think that's a word.
Okay, yeah. Just let me know if you need to like change the charger or take your intermission or
Yeah,
anything,
just a
or
heads up
change the
if
camera.
if I've like
Okay.
don't end up having a camera.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, just let me know. Let me know.
Okay.
um but okay, well, do you have any other New Year's resolutions?
I think actually you mentioned mindfulness. Meditation's actually one
Mhm.
of those things I want to implement more because
Ooh.
I think it would really help my art for one. And
Mhm.
acting is really about being in the present moment, which sometimes I
Yes.
know can be difficult for me too because I can be on
Mhm.
autopilot sometimes. So I think
Mm.
practicing being in the present moment would leak into different parts of my life. I actually, this is not sponsored by the way, but I use the Calm app and that has
Ooh,
helped
I've
me.
heard it was good. I haven't used it though.
It has really helped me through even like dark times for me personally, and like times
Mhm.
that I just needed more mental clarity or just a pause. I'll just pull up the app and like put on like a 3 minute meditation, and that would really help like give me perspective just right then and there. I mean,
Mhm.
literally it just happened a few days ago where I was going through it and I was like, okay, clearly I am not mentally well. I need to pause. So I used the app and
Mhm.
it it gave me just a quick side note. It gave me a good perspective where it was like you are allowed to just be. And I
Mm.
think that was like a good thing to hear because in the moment I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna be ugly cry and just like I'm just gonna be this human, a shell of a human that I am feeling right now. And allowing yourself to just be in that space actually, at least for me,
Mhm.
it felt like the release that I needed at that time. So
Yeah,
that was,
for sure.
I think that's something I should probably maintain more often.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah.
I love that. Like giving yourself the tolerance and the ability to just be instead of having to do something.
Yeah. Or even just like, maybe our own blockages in our heads, like without us even realizing. And I think
Yes.
that was also like
Mhm.
maybe I just didn't allow myself to fully feel my emotions, and that's why it built up to that point of like
Mm.
feeling overwhelming
Mhm.
versus if I were to have done it in incremental check-ins, maybe it wouldn't have been so intense,
Mhm.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
But
I
yeah.
think that's a great resolution.
Do you have any more resolutions?
Yeah. Do you have any more before I begin mine?
Oh shoot, we've really been on mine this whole time.
Wait, on what?
On like we've only Have you shared your resolution? Nick, here, yeah, your floor is yours. Go for it.
Oh, oh. Oh, oh, on your resolution.
Yeah, I was like,
I
have
mean,
we been
I
speaking about mine
mean
this whole time? Oh my gosh.
I mean, I did like go on a tangent a bit and talk a bit about mine as well while you're talking about yours. So,
Yes, please. Let's hear some of yours.
so I did mention my resolutions a bit while you're talking about yours too, but
Mhm.
I do have them written down so I don't forget. I'll just go through them real quick. I have it split out into different sections.
Nice.
So for first is health. Uh, I want to exercise more. And for all my resolutions, I'm trying to also write down some tangible, actionable steps I can do to go to like contribute towards that goal. Because I don't want to just say like I want to exercise, but like what am I going to do to help me exercise more? Like I want actionable steps. So it should be like I want to go to the gym like once a week. I want to like do a few like squats or like push-ups like every hour, you know, while I'm working. So I want to actually have actionable planned steps to
Mm-hmm.
how I'm going to accomplish the goals that I set for myself. So my first one is I want to exercise more, and the actionable step I'm going to take towards that is to go to the gym. And this is really funny. Don't judge me for that. But I want to go to the gym at least once a month. I know that seems very like, what? But coming from someone who went to the gym 0 times in the past year, I think once a month is a good start. So once a month, I think is a realistic start.
I think so
Second
too.
is I want to take better care of my skin. I don't. You can't really tell right now because I'm wearing makeup, but I have a lot of acne. I have like like pretty dry skin too because I've been using a lot of acne products, and that tends to really dry out your skin. So I like if I take off my makeup, my face is really red right now. So I want to take better care of my skin. I want to look into more skincare products that work well on me and just try to make myself look prettier. And another thing is I want to eat healthier. I want to eat less processed food, more more grains, more whole foods, no
Mm-hmm.
junk foods, no sodas. Um, I have a goal that I will only get fast food once a month. So I already got McDonald's on January 1st. So I will have no fast food for the rest of January.
Sorry,
And
I was like
then my
smiling at what Popcorn was saying in the chat. That's why I was reacting that way.
uh to which message. So for everyone who is viewing the podcast on YouTube or listening on Spotify later, Kayak said, "Oh, sorry, Popcorn in chat." She said, "Kayak's like nodding, like yeah, you need to look prettier."
Yeah, I was like, no, that's not.
And then my last health goal is I want to take better care of my gums because I went to the dentist recently and they said I had a bit of gum recession on my teeth. So I don't want that to like progress anymore. And my family does have a bad history of like gum recession and teeth problems. So I know I am already genetically in a disadvantage. So I want to try taking better care of my gums and my teeth. And I want to like use a what's it called, like a water flosser every day to
Oh, yeah.
like spray water like in between my teeth after every single meal. I already like
Whoa.
brush twice a day and floss every day, but I want to do even more. Like I want to start doing water flossing. I want to so there's this like trick on the internet called oil pooling, which is basically you take coconut oil and like you
Oh.
melt it and then you
Mm-hmm.
gurgle it in your mouth.
I heard that too.
And some people say it works, some people say it doesn't work. It's not like a medically proven trick. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
a like a witch's tale on the internet. But I'm like, it doesn't hurt me to try,
Yeah, yeah.
so why not just try? So I want to try doing that and see if it helps some of my gum recession. um yeah, so those are kind of my goals, health wise. And then life wise, I want to improve my fashion, like general sense of style. I feel like right now my style has not changed since I was in college. So I want to like be more fashionable. And that doesn't necessarily mean like buy new clothes. Like I feel like I already have like good clothes in my closet. I just need to know how to like pair them up and like
Yeah.
be more fashionable better. And then that also includes like getting better at makeup. That's something I've been working on as well. Because when I put on makeup, I usually just put on like foundation and concealer and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
But for like the stream today, I put on some like eyebrow uh eyebrow pencil on my
Oh.
eyes. I don't know if you noticed. And I also made popcorn pluck my eyebrows right before the stream.
What?
um, so I want to get better at like makeup and just looking better in general.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I have a lot of goals. I have like, literally all written down.
No, you're good.
um yeah, I wrote all these goals down like before the podcast, and I just have them put up to the side here because I'm like I don't want to forget.
You're good.
And then I want to, I guess in general, like be more confident, independent, and more generous, patient, and kind. I think there's a thing I've been struggling with recently where naturally I feel like I'm a pretty like nickel and dime person. So I'm like, oh, like I feel like we should, split the bills equally. Like, you do me this favor, I'll do you this favor
Mm-hmm.
later. But I don't want to be that kind of person. I want to be able to learn and get better at giving freely instead of expecting something in return. I think that's a better way to live. I mean, obviously, like don't let people take advantage of you, but I feel like I'm like counting too much, if that makes sense. I want to be able to give without thinking of what I'm getting back in return.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of like be less selfish and more generous. So
That's
that's
such a
kind of
good
something I'm still working on, and I want to continue to work on it this year as well.
that's such a good one. I love that one.
Thank you. And then content wise, I want to, like I said, I was talking about this a bit earlier in the podcast, but I want to stream more. Um, I want to get on that weekly streaming schedule. Hopefully, I can do it. I want to start making more long form content, so not just Twitch streaming, but I also want to start posting like more YouTube videos. Right now, the only YouTube videos I post are like literally just me reacting to new Twice music videos, which are like fun. But I want to start doing like actual like vlogs or actual YouTube content where maybe I do like a Q&A session, or I bake or cook something,
Ooh, how exciting.
or I build Legos and answer Q&A questions at the same time. I don't know.
Do
And
it, do it, do
I'm
it.
planning on doing a lot of traveling this year. So I want to record vlogs of every trip I go on and
Mm-hmm.
edit and hopefully upload them on YouTube. Um, so I want to start making more like real, like actual long form YouTube content.
Nice.
Um,
Ah,
and I also want to work on my Etsy more. Oh, I think your camera just went out. I think your camera finally said bye. I think your camera finally said bye. I
wait,
can't hear you
no.
anymore though. What was it? What did you last hear me say?
Um, you were talking about your content,
Oh,
uh,
yes.
New Year's resolutions.
Um yeah, I just want to create like more long form content. Yeah, I just want to create like more long form content. I want to start posting on YouTube more. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I want to work on my Etsy more as well. I actually have an Etsy,
Oh,
if you guys don't
yeah.
know, where I have listings of Twitch emotes that people can buy. And I haven't uploaded a single listing since for like 7 months. So I want to kind of get back into that and post more listings and make more art. That's something I want to do. I want to make more art this year. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I haven't made a lot of art recently, and I kind of miss it. Like I haven't drawn at all like recently. So I want to get back into doing art, and hopefully it'll be art that can contribute to like Twitch stuff, like either the podcast or my own personal streaming stuff, because I kind of want to do like a whole rebrand of my channel too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty old. Like I've used the same graphics since I started streaming in 2022, so I kind of want to do like make new stuff, so hopefully I can use my art skills to and design skills to do that.
Yes.
So that's kind of my goals in terms of content. Um, and maybe this is kind of more ambitious one, but I kind of want to do merch maybe by the end of the year.
Yes.
So we'll
I
see. We'll
believe
see about
it.
that one. I need to figure out how to do that because I have no idea how to sell anything online. But
I
um,
trust. I feel like you'll
I
make
want to see
really
if I
cool
can do that.
merch.
Hopefully by the end of the year.
Sweet. I'm gonna get a tissue real quick. Sorry, I am
Okay, yeah, no
recovering.
worries. Take a quick intermission. I'll take you 100 blindfold shirts. Thanks. Thank you, Mar. Yeah, I think merch is a good idea. And I kind of want to work towards it, but we'll see. JT says Blindfold is such a great artist. Oh, thank you, JT. I appreciate it.
Okay,
It
sorry.
low key, it low key looks like you're wearing an orange wig.
Wait, yeah, it does. I think Goob was saying that I look like Cool Spice instead of Ice
Who-
Spice. Ice Spice has the orange afro.
I'm sorry, who's
She's the one that sings think you the shit, bitch you ain't even the fart. I be going hard. No? Damn.
sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
If you guys don't know, I am not cultured in any sort of pop culture other than K-pop.
It's okay. I figured. But she has
we'll,
an
we'll
orange
talk about
afro.
that more. We'll
Okay.
talk about that more on the next stream.
Yes, we will.
Okay, I'll look her up after the podcast ends.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's it about my New Year's resolutions. I just want to be a better person and continue to improve myself with every single day. I want to be a better person than I was a day before. But I know it can be hard because growth is never a linear line. It's always like very turbulent. So sometimes we will be worse versions of ourselves than we were yesterday, but I think that's okay as long as we know and understand that the overall trajectory of our growth is still upwards.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. I
yeah, I just
think
want to keep improving myself, both my content, my professional and personal goals, and just who I am as a person.
yeah. I think even when we have our moments of not being the greatest person ever,
Mm-hmm.
um I think it's about what we do after that, and
True.
that really makes up because then we're all human at the end of the day. We're all gonna say things that we
Mm-hmm.
don't mean to say or do things
Yeah.
that we shouldn't have done. But yeah, it's all about what follows after that that makes up for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And um, I think I read somewhere online that's like, you know, it's okay to feel however you want because you can't control your feelings, right? Like you can if you see something that if you feel mad, sad, upset, angry, like you can't really control how the feelings come to you. But what you can control is what you'll do and how you'll handle those feelings. Like what you do with the feelings, like the actions that you'll take based on how you feel is more important than what feelings that
Yeah.
you're currently feeling. So that's something I'm currently trying to work on as well, is to know and give myself grace and know that it's okay to feel random sudden extreme emotions, but don't like act out or lash out on based on those emotions. So that's
Yeah.
something I'm working towards as well.
Yeah. I think it all goes to our thoughts too, because we can control
Mm-hmm.
where our thoughts go. And I think, I don't know, the
Yeah.
biggest reminder I always had was like, you are not your thoughts. Like, that's not
Mm-hmm.
your identity. That's not who you are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, those intrusive thoughts do be intrusive.
yeah. But you don't have to identify with those thoughts. You don't, that doesn't, it's not
Mm-hmm.
you. We are merely the viewer, you know? We're the viewer of what's happening
Right.
with our bodies, and we
Yeah.
can control that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. Okay.
Yes. Shall we
Do
move
you want?
forward?
Do you still want to talk about winter/Christmas activities? I know we've been kind of yapping for a while, so I'm okay if you want to save that part for like next podcast, but I'm also okay if you want to talk about it now.
I think we could save it for next podcast.
Okay.
Because I think the New Year's resolution one's like going on a long time, and then plus like my battery's going out soon.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think
Because I think we've already been yapping on the podcast for 2 hours. So
Wow, look at
I know.
us.
It went by so fast.
It really did. I
Time
feel
flies when you're having fun.
real. I agree. Yeah, I guess we can like start summing up our New Year's resolutions. I
Okay.
haven't I have written down my New Year's resolutions before. I did that last year. And I found that it didn't necessarily work for me to have it written down. This is, this is a matter of figuring out what works for you, of course. And so
Right.
like for me, like I'm now just trying to make art that's like a way of showing my goals, for instance. So like I'll make collages or vision boards that are like ideas of what I want
I love that.
because I'm going to see if this works for me and it feels like it will work best for me cuz I've done actionable like the actionable ones and I don't know why, but for some reason, maybe it's the whole like telling myself to do something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's my own blockage that I deal with. It didn't necessarily work, so I'm gonna try to see if a collage and hanging stuff up or creating art that's like part of my goals, maybe that's something that'll lead to completing goals. I mean, other than like the actual habit stuff, like
Yeah.
you mentioning flossing, I was like, I'm not the best flosser. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not the best flosser. I'll floss and I have like my own portable flosser and like but I need to floss more. I think that's my biggest thing is I just need to floss every single day rather than a few days a week. I think that's my biggest thing. So you saying that actually was like maybe I should add that to my list actually.
I think that's a good goal. And like we talked about like habit tracking and habit stacking earlier. Like you could easily like habit stack that into, your daily habit of brushing your teeth. I mean,
Mhm.
I hope you brush your teeth every day, but
Yes.
like
Yes.
but it's okay if you don't brush your teeth. You don't have to admit it on stream either. It's okay. We don't judge.
We
um,
listen, but we don't judge.
yeah, we listen, we don't judge. But I think it's a good way to like quickly habit stack that because every time you're like, oh, like right before or right after I brush my teeth, I'll just floss. So I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah,
pretty
I
good
I think
way to
that's
implement
a
that.
good habit to implement. Like brushing my teeth is no matter what is that's like one of the habits. Brushing my teeth and washing my face. Those are like the biggest habits I've implemented since 2020, honestly. Like when the pandemic happened, that was like my biggest New Year's resolution goal was to get that like to be such a I don't think twice about doing it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, ever since then I feel like that combo together has been like my go-to. It's just the flossing part I'm not as consistent with. And I should be.
I actually I for Popcorn's Christmas gift, I bought her an electric flosser. Um,
Wow.
it's called Floss. The brand is called Floss, like Flaus, and this isn't sponsored. Um, but I think she really likes it so far. She uses it like every day. And like you, she wasn't very consistent about flossing before. Like I would literally have to make her floss. Like every night before bed, I'd be like, "Did you floss? Did you floss?" Um, so yeah, she really struggles with flossing, but she says that ever since I bought her the electric flosser, she uses it every day, and I think she really likes it. So if that's something you want to look into,
Yeah, that I'm looking it up right now. It looks like something I would actually
yeah,
use.
it's called like Flaus. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into this actually. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like an electric toothbrush, but electric flosser.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool though. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, me neither. Until she wanted it, and I was like, interesting. uh, but yeah, I think Gigandus in the chat right now had a good note. They said, I would even say that what Blindfold was saying is a good example of what it means to be tactful. I think they're referencing what I was saying about how you can't control your own feelings, but you can control what you do with those feelings.
Oh.
They said you can't control what you may think, no matter how extreme it may be, but how you go about those thoughts in regards to actions is an attempt to be tactful versus blurting out anything and everything and creating all kinds of unnecessary issues. And I definitely agree with
Mm-hmm.
that. Same thing with feelings. Like you can't control your thoughts. You can't control your feelings. That's something like we know like we have intrusive thoughts, we have intrusive feelings, but what you can control is your actions and your response to them.
Yes.
So I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, for sure. And like I think like what I said earlier, like we are the viewer of our own like emotions and the thoughts that appear
Yes.
and all that stuff. And that's why as the
Mm-hmm.
viewer we can be like, "Wait, no, let's not go there or let's not react in this way. Let's hold on a second."
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have that power and that control to be able to be like, "I'm gonna
Sometimes
change
I
my
find it a
response
little
here."
helpful. Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
Oh, that's what I was just saying. It was just, oh, we can
Oh, okay.
change
Okay.
our responses. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, for sure. I definitely agree. Also, let me know if I'm like interrupting you or anything. I feel
Yeah,
like
let me know
I
too.
accidentally interrupt you sometimes, and I feel bad. So let me know if I'm interrupting you too much.
It's okay. It feels very much like a natural conversation, so I didn't take it
Mm-hmm.
offensively. You're good.
Okay, cool. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought already.
We were talking about thoughts and emotions and yeah.
It's okay. I don't remember what I was gonna say. It's okay.
Well,
We can
hopefully
leave
it
it.
comes back.
But yeah, I think that's a great way to go about it. But I really like your New Year's resolutions and goals.
Yeah, I like
Circling
yours
back to
too.
that,
I feel like
I think
go ahead.
no, you know, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like you have a lot of good ones, and I like how you categorize them too. I think that's like
Mm-hmm.
helping narrow down like specific parts of your life that you want to work on.
Mm-hmm. I want to say it's also okay if you don't have any New Year's resolutions for everyone like listening or watching out there. Um, I think sometimes people don't like New Year's resolutions because they look at it at the end of the year, and if they don't accomplish any of it, they feel really bad about themselves. So it's totally okay if you don't have any resolutions, and if your only resolution is to exist and be yourself, like that's totally absolutely valid as well. And
Yeah.
even if you do come up with resolutions and none of them get accomplished by the end of the year, that is totally okay as well. Because
Yeah.
I have uh I like at the end of every year when I like come up with New Year's resolutions and I think about what I've done the previous year. Sometimes, like for example, this past year, I'm like thinking about what I did in 2024, and I'm like, I think 2024 was so stagnant for me. Like when I look back on the year, I feel like I didn't accomplish anything. I didn't achieve anything that I wanted to do um, at the end of 2023. And then I feel like really bad about myself because I feel like you could just delete 2024 from my life and nothing would change. But I think it's also important to give myself a bit of grace because 2024 was personally a really bad year for me. I lost someone, you know, very close to me. So I was grieving for a while. I was, you know, pretty depressed for a while. So I think it's important to remember that and be like, it's okay if I didn't accomplish those things that I wanted to because of, you know, instances that happened in my life. And also it's important to celebrate the small wins as well. Like I usually try to write down a lot of big goals I set for myself as resolutions, but I think it's also important to be like, oh, I went to therapy for the first time ever this year. I think, you know, I feel like that's a pretty big win for me, considering,
Yeah.
it was very hard for me to work up the courage to do that. Also, I don't know. I feel like I can't think of them right now, but I feel like I also did a lot of like small, first first things and like the small achievements that I did throughout the year that I should also celebrate. So I guess I just wanted to say all that to say like it's also okay if you don't have resolutions or if you don't accomplish your resolutions. You just have to remember that just like you also have small wins that you should be happy for, and
Yeah.
um yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that because even reflecting on 2024, I did have, like when I was saying earlier, I did have a lot of structured goals, and I even had it
Mm-hmm.
for the whole year, and then I had it monthly. And then it got to a point where monthly I just could not, it
Yeah.
just didn't work out. But also, like, I had a lot of things that just fell through. Like, they just didn't work
Mm-hmm.
out in the end when I thought that they would work out. Um, and I think that was kind of like another reason where another thing that I also felt kind of like, well, damn, like I set all these goals, but now they are basically non-existent or not going to happen anymore, or like definitive. They're just like
Mm-hmm.
no longer a thing. Um, so like stuff like that where it was just kind of like, oh, maybe it was meant to be a year of redirection. Maybe it was a year to actually discover myself. Like it's kind of like the way growth happens is when shit hits the fan and then you
Mm-hmm.
like it's like the pain that you
Yeah.
go through makes you realize your joys too. So it was also
Mm-hmm.
kind of like
For sure.
that kind of year for me too when I started different accounts for different things content creating wise that just didn't work out anymore. That
Mm-hmm.
just kind of fell
Mm-hmm.
through. And then maybe that's just like a part of my journey of like, okay, well, I learned something from that experience and I'm just going to take that with me. And maybe that just wasn't meant to be. I think that's
Yeah.
been 2024 for me. Maybe it was just not meant to be.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you literally like got an agent in 2024,
Okay, yeah.
and you filmed you filmed a short film. You took part in a short film.
No,
Um,
there was a lot
so
of
I
achievements,
think,
yes.
yeah, I think you have a lot of amazing things coming your way, and we kind of talked about this earlier too. I think sometimes things that you don't think are an achievement necessarily, like quitting your job, actually
Oh,
is an
true, huh?
achievement.
Yeah.
Like quitting your job means you're unemployed, which may not seem like a happy thing, but you're finally free from that toxic environment. So that is a huge achievement.
Yeah, I think the later half of 2024
Yeah.
was actually a time of establishing boundaries and standing up for myself.
Hmm.
And
And honestly,
that's
the
part of
fact that
it.
you survived being in that kind of space where you like struggled so much is also an achievement, to
True.
talk about the earlier half of the year.
Very
And I
true.
think Feifei brings up a good point in the chat as well. They said, "Do not underestimate the joy you bring into the world." Like I feel like sometimes we don't realize the impact we have on others,
Yes.
um, but it is also an achievement to kind of like provide joy and comfort to others, even if it's just like your close friends or your family. Like sometimes your pure existence is an achievement, because you existing means that you're giving others happiness and joy, and
Yeah.
if giving happiness and joy to others isn't an achievement, I don't know what is, right? So sometimes just being you and not doing anything, just existing is an achievement itself. So I think it's
Wow.
important to not underestimate that.
Totally. I
Yeah.
totally agree. I'd give you snaps because it's wisdom blindfold coming out right now.
Oh, no, no,
I love it. Yes.
no. But yeah.
Yeah. I think that really wraps up New Year's resolutions. Should
Yes.
we move on to mention our advice segment?
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and do that?
Sure. Okay, so this goes back to the viewers. We want to engage with our community and provide advice for anything that you may be going through. So, we will actually be having a Google Forms document where you can give advice, whether that is, or give advice, sorry, ask for advice from us, and then we
You can
would.
give advice too.
That's true. You can give advice, sure. And you can submit it through there. You could submit it anonymously. You could
Mhm.
put your username. It's up to you. And we will select some to actually say live and give you advice live or recorded if you watched a podcast recorded. So just announcing that. And then do you have the form on you by chance?
Um, I can go get it. We're planning on doing this at the end of every episode. Not this episode, since this is just the first episode, but starting with episode 2, we will have a little advice segment at the end of every episode where we give you guys advice on whatever it is that you might need advice on. And it can be anything. It can be, super personal. It can be super broad. It can be about relationship problems. It can be about work problems. It can be like, what do I want to eat for dinner tonight? And I'll probably say sushi. But it can be literally anything that you want advice about, and we will try our best to give you advice about it. But big disclaimer, we are not professional like therapists or counselors or advisors. Oh, thank you so much, Kayak. Yeah, so we're not like professionals, so take our advice with a grain of salt, but we will do what is best in our own personal and professional ability to give you advice. So Kayak just send the advice form in the chat for everyone watching the stream right now, and if you're watching the YouTube channel, I'll probably link it in the description below as well. So yeah, fill out the advice form if you have any advice that you'd like to ask. You can do it right now. It should be open right now. Yeah. Cool.
Yes. Amazing. So will we be starting that next? That's our next episode, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
just making sure. Yes, so our advice segment will be starting in episode 2. So keep your responses coming. And then the next Saturday that will be live is January 18th. January 18th.
Yes.
5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then again, at the end of the live stream or at the end of the recording, we will be doing the advice segment.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to your guys' questions.
Yes.
And then just a quick note about the podcast, we will be doing this every other Saturday. So it will be consistent because we're committing to consistency in 2025.
Yes. I'm really excited.
It's really fun. I'm super excited about the podcast. I think this is a really good first episode.
I
I
think so
think
too.
we bounced off each other really well. So
Yes.
we talked so much. We didn't even get to other points that we had pre-planned
I
for this
know.
episode. So we'll talk about that next episode. But yeah, I'm already having a really good time. So I'm excited to see what's to come in the world of GirlyPop TV.
Me too. This has been really fun. I'm really excited for this journey with you, Blindfold, and all this girly
Yes.
pop fun. Um, yeah, so next episode is January 18th, 5 p.m. Pacific time, and 8 p.m.
8.
Eastern time.
Yes. Okay. Should we have like a outro, like
Should it be like
bye cuties.
this is Koolkayak and Blindfoldhero signing off. Bye cuties.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay, this is Koolkayak.
And this is Blindfold Hero.
Bye, cuties.
But wait, are we not saying signing off?
Oh, shoot. Okay. Again, let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Okay. Start over.
This is Koolkayak.
And this is Blindfold Hero.
We're signing off.
Honey.
Bye, cuties.
We can practice that later.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.